I could even put a counter in
I can kind of get this also. Comcast with Wi-Fi for yeah, so like start, I can just demo the oh, I can just demo the app. A second to get ready. Take the stream from me, like get my pass ready, and then I'll bring you up to show the nice thing. Okay, yeah, that sounds nice. Because that just lines up there and this won't take it out. I mean, this isn't as long. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go right up here. Yeah, okay, but mine's going to be short. So short. Here, let me really quick. It's going to go oh, I can EOS Knights. I'll take off. This is pretty straightforward. You don't have to walk through it. Yeah. Also, Bingo better really want to show because it shows it's staking and it's like an actual like casino game that people play for DApps. I'm going to fly through this. Okay, cool. And there's two people here who want to show something also, so we'll let them. Perfect.
I've given you a lot of students, coming from here and it just seems like
you can take that. You guys figure this shit out.
I guess he's managing
So, are you an investor? It's funny, I don't feel like what we're providing, what we're actually, it feels like you're providing some of the software as a solution in a way. I want people to interact with the object, just by running that software layer. It's probably more interesting to me.
awesome, dude. It's all wide layers, composite it, like switch camera. So much fun. We can't wait till we do a big one.
Well, if we do this, expo event comes together. So I'm excited about it. We get a little bit more traction. We got a lot of things already. Yeah. It's great. The market is kind of picking up a little bit too.
Yeah, one day the price went up on my phone. I remember when I got so many free tokens.
Colin talks crypto.
Oh yeah,
He made a video recently that was like, so I started noticing a pattern about like my views, right? And he's like, when the token price is down, my views are. And he's like, when it just have this pop, like this 40% pop, he's like, my video numbers, like my viewers, like quadrupled, you know? And he's like, it's not as much as content as it is the prices.
Pretty funny. Jeremy, nice to meet you. I just met Colin at Ann Acapulco.
Oh yeah, awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to go. Colin came up to SF. Oh man.
Oh yeah, I wish I had mine on. That's why I met him.
I bought tickets, but then it was just so hard to get, like, you know, expensive to get there. My girlfriend was giving me slack for like, y'all
Should have gone. It was
yeah. So you guys like the Nation guys and
I have
Luke was there. Right.
take him out to dinner. I was like,
Luke's one of my favorite guys. Yeah, I saw Colin's photos.
Dude, it's like,
really? Really?
I blew my mind. It was so stoked. Yeah, it was like EOS everywhere.
Well, there is. I mean, there's like Jeff Bezos is like big into it. I think one of the guys who puts on.
Oh, Berwick.
Oh, Berwick. Sorry.
Is on.
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
No.
Yeah, the richest man in the world.
I know you guys look blank. I was like, what is that?
He popped the state of the crypto talk, which I was there for. His 3 favorite coins: Monero, the Bitcoin will always be there, and EOS. And the crowd just was like, boom, quiet. So, like, everyone that loved it was like, yeah, and all the haters were like, fuck. You can feel it. It was beautiful. And that day, it rallied. Or the next morning, it was
everybody's on their phone.
there was some there's a lot of money there. A lot of people connected.
Imagine.
And it went on a run. It was like a 265, and it ran all the way to 420 or something.
Higher than that. They got like peaked at 460. Came back down, and then hung at 430.
Now we're back to 350. Which is good.
Exactly. I said there's all this like Gameos fun. I was like, okay, good. You know,
Totally.
be concerned, and I'll buy some more, and then you realize it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I was like, too soon.
I'm gonna do poker games, which is just I've been fucking addicted to this game.
random one had $1,000 on there.
Really?
He's like drinking kratom and getting a tattoo. I just won $1,000.
It's fucking awesome. It's so much fun. That's why I was like, oh, I want to tell people.
I wanted to show, I'm going to show, what's it called? I made a small list. I'm just going to flag them. We'll meet one just quickly.
You have to. That's great.
EOS Knights on
No. That's cool. Yeah.
I'm really interested in the ones that like simulate actual casino type games.
Yeah.
It's mostly slots.
Yeah. That's cool. I want to see, because that's, you know, the funny thing is so much is being built on EOS. There's so many things that I never got a chance to put my hand on and play with. That was that inspiration for the Expo event. You know, it's like, let's do an event where people just walk around and you get to play with shit that's being built. You know?
It's such a good game too. It's like,
But then I was like, this is like the mini version of it, you know, we're just going to show our favorite.
starts it.
We should probably, I think, see me Are you sending out like a stream link or going to do it later?
It's a brand new one, so it's right now.
Because then I'll retweet it with the Blocksmith account.
Text it to you. What's the best way to text?
You can send it on Telegram.
My Telegram takes forever.
So many different programs, and it's so crazy.
Okay, yeah, I'm in that one. So just post it there, and then I'll forward it to our Telegram channel.
Alright, so you're gonna stand and do this, or just sit over here?
Probably sit down. You're going to go up. We're going to go after Brandon, so he's probably not that good. It's good. Yeah, so we're going to be showing the stuff up there. I don't want to fuck this up. Yeah, it's such a big distance. It's like I wish it was this.
You mean on your live stream?
Yeah.
of it.
Answering questions and stuff.
So is that going to pop up on there?
No, we're not going to do that.
Oh, I was like, oh, you're not. Okay, and they could ask for a question.
It's just like,
Yeah, we had some
I'm gonna go.
Vegas 13,000. The next Fortnite game, we can do that. And we can verify that you cannot beat it. Because if you are, you can
No, I've heard the name, but tell us about it.
This is going to absolutely blow your mind.
Tell us
I've
about
heard
it.
about Murmur. Yeah, now's the time to just be like, can't believe this season.
Murmur's basically in between Instagram and Twitter. And what you can do, this is actually using it in real time right here.
So is it off-chain or on-chain?
It is on-chain for the token transactions, off-chain for the social media. So right here, we'll go like this. You guys can say hi to Murmur. Like that. Throw it on there. And then I'm going to put @Murmur Friends. And then, so what people can do, this is like either Instagram or Twitter, but the difference is that you can see down here, is that you can tip really easily in Murmur. So it is one of our new social apps. It's really slick and easy to use, and it's got a lot of users. So this is something to check out. It's in your, you can get a wallet and the app in your phone really easy. So if you just type in MUR into like your Google Play, then it's as easy as that. Now, Max is going to come up. He's going to show you how to use the Meet One wallet. And if anyone doesn't have a Meet One wallet, we can get you a free one on your phone. The cool thing about the Meet One wallet is that it has an integration with all the apps. So once you get the Meet One wallet, you can go through and you can just use, you can kind of explore and use all kinds of interesting apps within EOS. So that's kind of the point of today, is to quickly run you through some of the most fun apps that are to use, because yeah, there's actually cool stuff going on. It's pretty simple at this point. So Max, this is one of the co-founders of EOS San Francisco, the block producer, and he's a hero. So
thanks so much for coming. Definitely vote for our proxy. What's our proxy?
We have mrhappymoney as our
Mr. Happy Money. Vote for Mr. Happy Money.
We vote for
so just curious. Show of hands. Who has an EOS wallet? First of all. Okay, some of you.
Was many EOS wallets.
Many identities, right? And who's used EOS on a mobile wallet? Okay, so even less than you. All right, so Meet One is an awesome wallet to use. We have a ton of coupon codes in June for that. So we're going to be giving out free EOS wallet account names. There is a small cost. You have to follow us on Telegram. And it's up there, EOS San Francisco EP on Telegram. So go on Telegram. If you know what Telegram is, I think you're in the wrong. Yeah, so go on EOS San Francisco VP, and we'll get you a code for a free EOS account on Meet.1. But I'm just going to walk through Meet.1. Some of you will have some difficulties signing up, I'm sure. I did a demo on it last week. I had some problems with the iPhone. It still made the counts, but there's a little confusion in the language. So just get on there. We'll make sure we'll get you a free account. No, I don't. Somehow we got a bunch of free accounts. So we definitely get a free account. I think accounts probably cost a couple of bucks, so definitely take us up on that offer. So I'm just going to go through and show you the Meet.1 app. You can use it as a DApp Explorer or manage your resources. So I have, it's really hard to see that, but it's pretty much standard wallet. You can cycle between your other wallets. So down here, you can't even see that actually on these things. It's too bad. But up here on the top, I selected my account. I can go through the different accounts. This account, I have 5 EOS. I wouldn't put like your Genesis account here, make a smaller one and set some funds to that. It's kind of obvious. But this is a really good wallet. So on the bottom, there's these buttons. This one says Assets. The next one says Discovery, News, and Me. So the one we're going to focus on is Discovery, and this is how you get into your apps. Up here, the only word you can't read is dice. I'm sure most of you know this, but I think there's like 250 working dApps on EOS that are gambling dApps. Or more than that, or some, I don't even know the actual stats, but it seems to be it's mostly used by gambling applications. And then I think like 2 weeks ago I looked it up. It was like over 20 dApps have over 1,000 daily users. So I don't know, a few more than Ethereum. But this is really cool to just explore and see what there is to offer. And yeah, so if you click on the Game Center, It's on the right here. It shows tons and tons of games. Something in common with all these gambling dApps is that you can stake their token. So most of them have their own token, and you can earn it. And when you earn it, you can lock it up into a smart contract and earn dividends on that. And some of them you can actually earn dividends on the hour, which is pretty incredible. So on like the Dice app, you can actually get paid out hourly and earn money on it. I saw you up on the site.
Yeah, I was going to talk about.
Awesome. She'll get us back. That's an incredible thing. Haven't seen that on too many other cryptocurrency platforms. Anyway, I could ramble about this stuff for hours. Let me hop over. Let's see. I was going to talk about Meet One app. So definitely check that out. I'm going to briefly go over to EOS Knights, and this is a full-fledged game. It's highly addictive. I highly recommend you check it out. You'll see the full potential of EOS blockchain. And as you can see here, there's many different ways to log in. You can even log in with Facebook and use the EOS blockchain, which is very interesting addition. You can use Scatter. I highly don't recommend using the Scatter for mobile yet. Most of these other applications are actually built on Scatter. We're going to be focusing on the Meet.1. I'm going to select that one.
Do you want to say what Scatter is?
Oh yeah, Scatter is a mobile wallet that's excellent for desktop. It's like the best one out there. But you're not going to be using that one for mobile for a while. But so I pulled up the Meet.1 wallet, and it asked me to confirm. If I want to change the account, I could. So this account, I don't want to use that one. I'm going to select a different one. I can go down the list and pick which specific account I want to interact with. And then I'm going to put in a password that I have. Very secure password. And then that basically decrypts your private keys to interact with the blockchain. So as you can see, my game loads. And it looks like is anyone familiar with this game so far? Is anyone playing this?
This game doesn't run on blockchain.
This is running on EOS right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
So
is
this
it all on-chain?
all the transactions are all on chain. Yes.
But the game itself is.
The game itself is hosted on a server somewhere. I'm not sure.
Right.
But all the actual, it's not like fully decentralized. Like you're not using IPFS for the images. You have no need to do that. So just the transactions, interactions with the game. So when I click to delete some material, so I'm going to trash some materials just to show you what the gameplay is like. This is an on-chain transaction. So do you see I'm signing the transaction here? And it goes through, and it's pulling up Meet.1 in the background, as you can see right here. It should have gone through. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's full confirmations on the EOS network. So I'm going to go back, and even when I restart the level, it's a confirmation. You can see there's a little lag, but it's not like Ethereum where you have to wait like half an hour or whatever. Yeah, I want to say on average, each action on here is probably taking like a second or two. And you can see I've actually got some new items to play with. Anyway, yeah, this game's really fun. And then the really interesting thing is that there's a marketplace, and you can actually buy and sell physical items here. So like these things are actually being sold for real EOS. Like things that I find in the game, I can sell for real funds too. So this is really incredible.
What's the most expensive thing you sold?
I don't know. Let's check. There's a.
What's the most expensive thing in the marketplace?
I've seen like.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, there's a couple $100 things in there. But you can see like my
That's pricey.
It's like dependent upon the price of EOS.
So check this out real quick. On my sales log, you can see I've sold 28 EOS worth of stuff.
Oh wow!
Wow. How much time do you spend on that?
Yeah.
I mean, you get like 5 to 10 minutes a day, you know. So I'm not really probably making a little more minimum wage at this. Anyway, this is fun. Definitely worth checking out. It's very addictive. Just
Can you show us the gameplay?
What was it?
Can you show us the gameplay?
That was it.
Tell us
So you have these little guys up there. They're fighting these little goblins.
Fighting at the top.
Yeah, they're fighting.
Oh, that's the game. Okay.
No, that's the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much games. But then you want to.
Do you not shoot?
No, it's not like a shooting game. It's like a strategy game. So you want to like up your different tools and like you want to. are you guys familiar with like an RPG style game?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like that. This is the first RPG I've ever played, so I don't know what to really compare it to. I was like, man, I can make money playing a game, I'll give it a shot. So, yeah, definitely check it out. It's very, very simple and straightforward.
And this has like at least on that radar, like 6 to 7,000 daily active users.
Yeah, there's a lot of people playing
So this is like the most popular game on EOS?
I think it is.
Probably.
There might be a gambling one, a dice maybe, but there's so many people playing it. Like if you find something valuable, you can list on the market and instantly get EOS for it. Like it's at that level. So people there is an economy going on behind the scenes there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, definitely check this out. Let's see, what was the next one I was going to talk about? Yeah, the Karma app.
So the volume is 2.8 thousand for 24 hours.
That's pretty good.
Is how much they pay out.
How many?
Oh, that's how much they paid out.
2,800.
So this is, let me skip over to the Karma app. So this app is kind of sketchy when you log in. You have to log in with a private key. Just throwing that out there. But Karma is essentially it's kind of like the Instagram of EOS. I've heard it referred to as that. Except they're attempting to get you to post good deeds to earn Karma. So when you, are you guys familiar with Steemit blockchain?
Yeah.
So in the same vein, you can vote for people, and when you vote for them, you're not like micro tipping them. You're delegating the new funds to go to them. So it's not your money that's being used for the upvote. So you can actually earn money just doing great deeds on here. And let me show you around a little bit. So you have 3 tabs at the top. There's popular, home, and new. Popular is like a curated by them. I'm not sure what their algorithm is that populates this. But let's say I want to upvote that popular one. I just click the upvote. Now if you wait a second, you'll see at the top, go on, do it. See, just went on chain. So it just posted a transaction on chain that I upvoted that one post. So if I went to a blockchain explorer, I could see that actually, that I delegated my vote to that individual. Home would be the people you follow, and then new would be the entire feed of everyone. And you can see, someone posted something 3 minutes ago. So you can scroll through here and see like lots of videos. It seems like it went viral in Indonesia and some parts of Africa. So it's really not global yet, but it's pretty interesting how people are using this. I want to hop over to the wallet real quick and show you what's going on here. So it looks very similar to Instagram. And I posted, I'm kind of like a cynic. So I posted like a picture of a steak. I fed myself this giant steak. I hope it'll inspire me to help people. So, but yeah, I got some upvotes. I got 9 upvotes and like some I've definitely got a lot of downvotes on here too.
One day you two can dine like a king.
Yeah, and I have friends that are doing similar stuff and they keep getting upvotes just because no one's really on here. But the interesting thing I want to show you, so I've been posting some art I've been doing and some random pictures. And,
how much have you earned in total?
What was it?
How much karma do you earn?
I'll show you. I think on this account I have 150,000 karma, which is probably like $100 worth. Wow. I bought a lot too. I think on average I was making a couple hundred karma a day just off my posts. So that's like 30 cents, 40 cents a day. Could be worth a lot more one day. But I think this might.
Indonesia.
Yeah, in Indonesia it's a whole lot more money. But there's people in Indonesia like making posters, like physical posters, and like promoting the Karma product, and so it's a really big deal over there. Like it's really interesting to see how that idea of like helping the unbanked is actually coming to life. I definitely look more into this app as well.
Where does the funding come from?
It's inflationary, so it's in there. Blockchain money, magic air money. I want to see if I can.
Do you know where the project is based on?
It's decentralized. No, I'm not sure. I've no idea.
The founders are in Colombia.
Oh, Colombia. Yeah, I think they're from all over. I wanted to claim to show you how I get the interest, but essentially you push this claim button, and then just by holding karma in your wallet staked, you get some of that inflationary money and allows your votes to be worth more. I'm not sure exactly how much more it makes your votes worth. But yeah, you can claim your karma every 24 hours. and then claim your points, if people uploaded your post as well.
Can you switch your Karma to EOS within the app, or do you have to go to Exchange?
No, you can do that from Meet.one wallet, and there's many decentralized exchanges on there. There's probably 4 decentralized exchanges. I prefer Nudex, but you can instantly just go there. You can sell your Karma into EOS, and you can even sell them to Bitcoin too on there through a pegged asset Bitcoin, which is pretty interesting. You ever do that type of thing?
Is the wallet open source?
Nudex, yeah.
What's that?
Is it open source? The wallet?
Is it
New decks.
Is it Meet
No,
one wallet?
yeah, the wallet open source.
I don't believe
No,
any wallets are open source that I know. Does anyone else know that?
It is kind of like 2B style open source. So like it actually shares some core source codes with a trusted VPs or partners, mainly just to try to prevent some, because there are many hackers on EOS, so they're kind of trying to take it in a controlled way.
This is the EOS.
Yeah, come on in. There's some shares.
So that's Karma. I'm sure a few of you know about Lumeos. I'm going to go over it anyway, just really quick. So Lumeos is so straightforward and so simple. You can answer questions and earn Lumeos tokens or Lumi tokens. And I'm just going to go over and show you how that works. I don't know exactly how this exactly works, but I know I'm earning tokens, and as an average user, that's important to me. So it's pretty cool. Definitely check it out. So there's a bunch of questions, and as you can answer any one of these. Do you use a password manager? It says yes, and please comment. So just the act of clicking yes, I earn like 5 lumens or lumen tokens, and then I can post a comment. And if I post that comment, you can see that should go through. As you can see, it was like instantaneous. Then I would earn some tokens for that. So I think the idea is to connect the advertiser with the person that you want to get feedback from. Some of you have worked on this, or Lumeos, or do all those guys go out to Hong Kong? Hong Kong. Okay. Anyway, damn, I was hoping one of us would speak a little more about it. Anyway, it's very cool. How is it okay? So my question is it all going to the EOS mainnet, or is it Spark going to a sidechain, or what was the
My understanding is that it's on the testnet right now, and some of it is on the mainnet, but it's a volume issue.
Okay.
Like right now they have 5,000 users. So
yeah, I saw a lot of transactions on the mainnet, so I wasn't sure, but one of our partners, Ali, can answer this.
yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I just want to show you this because it's so easy to interact with it. From an average user perspective, this is huge. So being able to interact with the blockchain.
And you can do polls with your friends. So like if you wanted to say, send out a poll to find out what do you guys want for dinner, or, are we doing Chinese or whatever. So actually setting up polls with local payment is is kind of a huge advantage because you don't want to, nobody has survey monkey.
Absolutely.
But am I paying them, the person who posts the question?
Yes.
Yeah, you pay for it.
It's on micropayment, so it's roughly, I don't know, what quarter.
I'm not sure what the cost is right now. Cool. Well, that's all I got. Definitely claim your fee for the EOS account. So follow us on our Telegram, EOS San Francisco. We'll hook you up. Super fat. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
So yeah. So I did send out 8 codes. If you guys who signed up, check your Telegram, you should have received it. If not, let me know. But and if you do sign, again, join EOS San Francisco VP, I'll send out codes. For the new people in there, we're giving out free EOS accounts. Sign up to the EOS San Francisco VP Telegram, and we'll give you a coupon.
I'm just going to this next person. It's you, Dungeon.
Oh yeah, sorry.
This is Justin from Infiniverse Block Producer.
Infinity block.
Infinity Block, excuse me. And he's gonna, you gonna do Infiniverse?
No, I'm not actually.
Emanate. Cheers.
Cool. So yeah, today I'm going to show you guys Emanate, which is basically it's a music listening platform, but it's also a music collaboration platform. So it operates sort of as a Spotify-like platform, but also it allows DJs or any sort of artist to collaborate together and you can put the contracts on the EOS.io blockchain, and you can have like an income spitting off as the music is played. So I'll just quickly show you how it works.
So are you part of the
Oh, no. So these are some guys from Sydney, Melbourne, Australia. And yeah, they're a really cool team. I'm good friends with them, so yeah, I really want to show what they're doing.
How is their charge?
So I'll answer the question after. So as I play this song here, you can see down the bottom, it should actually contain every 6 seconds or so playing actual artists. So sorry about this, but the benefit of this is usually when artists want to get paid, it takes months before they actually get paid from Spotify or whoever the payer is. So the benefit of this is you're actually getting paid almost basically instantly as users are actually playing your music. And then I'll show you, because that was just a single artist operating by himself. But if I go to a collaboration, you'll see that when there's 2 artists operating together, they actually both get paid, and it happens automatically. So I think this one, it's Matt. I don't say that. Follow you home. It's Melt and NYG remix. So I assume that's 2 artists collaborating together. So down the bottom, you should see when they get paid, it should actually be going to 2 artists. So yeah, they shared 0.21 MNX. So yeah, it's really cool. That's cool. That's cool. It is cool. So yeah, another problem is like when you have collaborating artists, like, you know, they might agree on doing 50-50, but then one wants more. And you know, if it's coming into one account that one of the artists is controlling, then you could have trust issues. So this is completely transparent and guaranteed that both artists are going to get paid exactly what they agreed to. So yeah, it's really, really cool.
Can I listen to music if I don't have Emanate coins?
Yes, I believe you'll be able to just pay $10 a month, just like Spotify. I don't know if that's the exact amount, but it'll work very much like Spotify model. It's just, this stuff will actually be on the back end, and you won't even see it, but the artists will be able to see what's happening.
Gotcha.
It's fully transparent for them. I think it was...
Does it have, what if the artists have released their rights already? Is it just music where the artists have the rights to?
Potentially it could be anything. Like it could be like someone's releasing certain snippets of music or sound files. Like this is going forward, there could be a marketplace of sounds, and you could integrate certain sounds into your song, and then there could be an agreement that automatically gets made that they get a percentage of the song revenue built in just when you click, you know, to add that snippet to your music.
So maybe theoretically someone could sell the rights to their song to someone else and then they would get the revenue stream?
Yeah, in theory, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it makes that sort of, it makes all these sorts of possibilities like much, much easier. And you know, you don't need to trust like a written contract. You have a coded contract on how it will work, and you know it's going to work that way.
Or even could someone record something and then put it on there?
In theory, potentially. I'm sure they have a solution for that, but I don't know how they handle that sort of situation.
So how many users do that have?
I don't know if they have any. At the moment, this is a demo. So they're like gearing up for a release. They seem to have, yeah, a fair bit of traction and kind of, you know, getting attention from the market. I think they have a collaboration with another partner. I think that partner links bands up together or something like that, links artists together. So they should have plenty of artists from day one once the platform's ready.
Are these guys using IPFS?
Yeah, they do use RPFS to store all the music as well. So yeah, let me just check if there was anything else I wanted to show. Oh yeah, so this is what the platform.
And in their contracts, they set the price for like how much they want to be paid per like listen, or per like 10 seconds of playtime or something like that.
Yeah, I believe that's how it will work. I mean, yeah, the platform's still in development.
Right. Because yeah, it's not apparent to users, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they don't need to see that type of thing. Let me see if I can switch to my desktop.
This is going to be a mobile app?
I assume they'll have all sorts of apps, desktop, mobile. I can't actually switch my desktop, but the slide that I wanted to show you guys wasn't really that important. So yeah, any other questions? No worries. I'll pass you over to Shah, who's going to show Poker King.
All right, thanks. How do I caps this?
Sorry.
Just do you have to come off of it so I can
Yeah. You should be able to take over. But,
override. Okay, so hi guys, my name is Shaheen. I am part of the EOS Blocksmith team. We're a block producer group in the Bay Area who have been involved with EOS since the launch. So this is, I just wanted to come talk about my favorite dApp on EOS. A little bit different than what Justin was just talking about. I think some of Justin's, Emanate was really cool because they're doing cool things with the blockchain. This is just a really fun execution of a game that I love, which is peer-to-peer poker. And so we've seen an explosion of gambling dApps on EOS and Tron, and there's been on Ethereum too, but with Ethereum there's been issues with speed of execution and speed of gameplay. I think has been a frustration for a lot of people. And I'm not a big gambler. I don't really like blackjack, roulette, or baccarat, but I do love poker. It's a game I've been playing for years, tons of fun. So I was waiting until the first version of a peer-to-peer poker came out. And it just came out with this game called Poker Kings. It came out, I want to say, about like 3 weeks ago. Obviously, there's different ways to implement anything on a blockchain, right? We were kind of asking about how EOS Knights and how some of these dApps work. Is everything on-chain? Is it IPFS, whatever? So this game is very minimally attached to the blockchain, right? Almost everything is off blockchain except for the cash in and cash out transactions. But basically, you can log in with Scatter. I've been playing on mobile with the Meet One app that we talked about earlier. You can get to a lot of games through that, so I highly recommend, if you haven't downloaded that, download it. You can really play with tons of things on the ecosystem if you download the Meet One app. But if you go to the website, you click Login, and if it has Scatter available, let's see, let me reset this here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to log in with Scatter and log in here. All right, and so now my account is logged in, and
so how have you done it? Have you made money?
I mean, I've gone up and down so much. I play literally. Okay, so this is the funny thing. The preface to this is, so I've been a block producer on the EOS blockchain since before launch, and I hear about all these dApps, and I've kind of tinkered with some of them here and there, but nothing's really been something that I've been actively using or really grabbed my attention until this came out. I've probably played about every day since it's come out. I've played it at least for like 30 minutes, and some days for a few hours because it's just tons of fun. So there's a few different levels you can choose. I'm going to choose kind of the middle level. You can click to first observe a table at that level, and yeah, I need to figure out. How do I switch it to this so you can see everything, Justin?
You go to the cast option. You might have to. I had trouble doing that, so maybe disconnect and then reconnect with the full desktop showing.
Cast to desktop.
That's what I should have done.
Let's try that again. Share. Okay, cool.
That's better.
So when I clicked log in, scatter popped up and said, "Do you sure you want to log into this app with your account?" And you say, "Yeah." And then, so you can. So I had asked him to observe a table. So if the table pops up, this is a table with, right now, it's a six-person table. 5 people are on there right now, and I can choose to take a seat if I want to. Turn the volume up here too, and it asks how much I want to buy in for. So pretty basic stuff. So I'm going to buy in for 10 EOS, and then the scatter pops up and says, "Are you sure you want to make this transaction? Sit down at the table with 10 EOS." And I say, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's school these fools."
Where's it based at?
So, like many gambling dApps, we don't know. For obvious reasons, I think they don't want anyone to know who they are. But they actually have a really active Telegram channel, like super active. They've got about at least 3 admins that are like very active. They answer questions. Unless you're asking like where are you from or what's your name, then they won't answer those things. But let's so we'll kind of play a hand. I don't know how many of you guys know how to play poker. So we got dealt ace 5, and our blind was 0.2 EOS. So ace 5's not bad. Let's see how it goes. So it's come to us. We get to choose what we want to do. Let's raise these fools. Let's go up to 5. Let's go up to it's 0.2 right now, but we're gonna raise. Oh, I didn't raise it in time.
Oh, you hold it?
You guys got me nervous.
Perfect. Damn.
No wonder it takes you 2 hours.
No, we'll play the next hand. You guys got me nervous.
0.2, that's a good call. What's the EOS right now?
8.6. Suited connectors. This could do something here. It's no ace 5 for sure. We'll give it a shot. There's a chat function too, so you can kind of talk shit to people if you want, which is always fun. So this guy before us raised us. Let's call it. Let's give you guys a demo here. See how it goes. That guy folded. This guy called. Damn, not a great flop for us. Should we try to bluff this? See if we can.
It's on my mind.
I sent out the live stream to the Poker Kings Telegram channel, so probably one of these guys is like watching right now. He'll know we're trying to bluff him. Okay, that was good. That guy checked. Let's see what 1 fish 2%. That doesn't look.
He doesn't got nothing.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
He's got it.
Let's go big or go home. Let's go 1.1. Damn. Okay, first guy called. That's not good. Maybe we can catch a 10 for the straight. Ooh. Okay. I don't know. We bet 2.2. All right, let's do it. I feel pressure here, so I'm gonna go. Let's
why is it raised?
I'm gonna raise to 8, just to show you guys.
That's $24. You know that, right?
Oh.
Oh! Split. Okay. All right.
You're off.
So I'm gonna fold because you guys are making me way too aggressive. But you can chat. You guys are too good. And I used to stream at the top. Let's see, that's nice. Oh yeah, it just kind of pops up on the bubble here. And yeah, so you can add more chips while you're sitting down if you want to. You can sit out if you want to. You can go through the history of the hands. It's pretty basic stuff that you see in online poker, but it's just so amazing that you can just do it on the blockchain and like basically have a casino in your pocket. Those of us who have played or gambled online before. Go ahead.
Did you check out and check in just now?
I just cashed out, and so when you cash out, there's no. I play it so much on the phone, I'm not sure how it works, but theoretically it just gave me whatever I had
back into your...
my account. I mean, we can go to Block Explorer right now and kind of see what we did. EOS Flare.io. We'll pull up the books. Okay, so you can see my balance, the stake, and I had to stake a little bit. So those of you that have not used the EOS blockchain much, so to do any transaction on the blockchain, you have to have a little bit of EOS staked for CPU and bandwidth. And that was a really cool thing to kind of experience the first few days I was playing this, because I had some staked for CPU, but I was cashing in and cashing out enough that like the first few days, I had to go back and stake some more for CPU because I used all my CPU up, which I've never done before. And so yeah, we can go back and see. So we sat down for 10 EOS there, so that's that transaction. We sent it to their contract, and then we cashed out with 10.1835. What up? 1.835. Cha-ching.
So are you staking on this?
Yeah, okay, so then let's talk a little bit. So that's the poker game. It's just super fun, super fast, super crisp. That's why I like it. So a couple things. A lot of people that I've shown this dApp to have enjoyed the game, but have also made comment. You know, those of us that are like decentralized diehards.
Yeah, we're going to show that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Good, perfect. Let's go right into it.
Let me show that, and then we can.
Yeah. So a lot of people are like decentralized diehards. Like, this is not a blockchain game. This is all off-chain, you know. But there is a group that's working on a completely on-chain version of player v player poker, and so I'm on the Telegram channel and watching their stuff. They're actually running on the Jungle testnet, and I think they're planning on launching later this month or early next month. That's called Poker Chained, and they're from theoretically a reputable blockchain software group. At least some of the other people that I know in the community have really highly praised that group and what they've done before. So there's a lot of us that are playing this game and also keeping close eyes on that one, which should be a lot more interesting to have every transaction and every hand on the blockchain. You get a lot, because a lot of people that play this are like, can you trust it? How do you know, if there's not some, software that's rigged against you? And I've been playing for 3 weeks, and I don't think that there is, but I have a friend who's like, no, there's always way too much action. There's got to be something.
You mean just in terms of like the hands that are being held?
Yeah, but he's also like a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, he's a little paranoid.
Yeah, he's a little paranoid. I found it to be just the same as if I was playing poker online, like on some other sites. So okay, so there's also different ways to do tokenomics, and I think they have an interesting model. We're experimenting, this is the total experimental phase, but their design was, okay, anytime you sit down and play, for every EOS that you bet, every one EOS that you bet, you will get a certain amount of R token. They call it King token, okay? And they call that mining. So when you're sitting and playing, you get some rewards back for betting every time you bet. And the idea is that you are kind of, buying into their whole system, and you can stake your King tokens. And so those of you that play poker know that there's something called a rake. And that's how casinos make money in poker, right? Because it's people playing each other. So why would a casino host if they don't make money? But they do actually. Every pot that happens, they take a tiny little bit, a percentage, and that's how they make money. That's why they set up tables to have people play. It's not a super profitable thing for casinos, but that's how the dev team is making money. They're taking a part of the rake. But the nice thing about this dApp is they decided to keep the rake super low, so it's 1.5%, which my understanding is very, very low as far as poker rakes go. And then half of that rake, the devs keep for themselves, and then the other half goes as a reward, a dividend, to people that have King token. So it kind of incentivizes you to want to play because you get these King tokens and you're getting this kickback every day, and also encourage your friends to play too, because if they're playing and there's more revenue coming in, then you're all getting, if the dApp grows, then you're getting more dividends back. So that's kind of how their tokenomics model works. There's definitely pros and cons to that, but it's an interesting model, an interesting idea. So yeah, questions? And you can also, obviously, you can go, so the nice thing is you can go buy King tokens directly. So I think some people at the beginning were playing like high stakes. Like, I think, so the theory is that people were setting up 2 accounts and betting against each other. They're losing, betting against themselves, right? High amounts of EOS.
Right.
They were losing like 1.5%, right? Because the rake was always taking, even if you're playing yourself, right? You're still losing that rake. But they were making enough in terms of like rewards, and then they would like sell them on the market, depending on the price of King tokens on the market, and or they were getting dividends or kind of setting themselves up to get like daily dividends. So there's all kinds of like game theory that people were playing at the beginning of this as well, and are still doing to some degree, but I think we've seen a lot less of that now. So,
it seems to me the real problem is whether someone can have several people playing several hands.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they're, everyone in the table is one person against you.
Absolutely, and that's not a decentralized problem. That's an anything online poker problem, right? Like there's so these guys were worried about that a little bit because people were complaining on the Telegram channel. So the devs are actually quite responsive for an anonymous dev team who doesn't want people to know who we are, where they are. So they've been kind of taking community feedback and trying to improve. And that's one of the things that they improved like maybe a week or two ago is they at least told us that they've set it up so that the same IP address can't set up two accounts. But there's ways to game that too, right? But that's still, I mean, that's an issue for any online poker, right? Definitely, I'm not proud of it, but my friend and I have been on sometimes together. We might share what's in our hands if we're sitting at the same table. But they also like randomly assign you tables. It's still a small population of people playing, so you can kind of do that now, but theoretically as it grows and you randomly assign, it's hard to sit down with your friend.
And so, why is this important? People are kind of making money and trying to figure out how to manipulate the dividend market to figure out if something's getting paid or not. So Poker King, the dividend was 80%. So basically, you come up with that by saying, I know how much the EOS has been paid out. I know how much is staked. So this has been the return. And so the data from here is being pulled from multiple sites, either the own site, DApp Radar, the DApps, different sites for validations on that. But so right here you can also see how much is actually being paid out. So Poker King is one of the top.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first few days I was playing, I was like, this is really cool, and I went and bought a few King tokens on the market, and the return has been, about, I think when I started it was about 1%, so I was getting 1% return daily on my rewards, come down a little bit to 0.8, but I mean, not bad to kind of theoretically, if the volume stays about the same, get your return on investment, in about 100 days or something like that. So it's not bad.
Can you pull it down anytime you want?
When
you stake?
Yeah, so the stake is 72-hour hold. So not horrible, but not immediate. But
better than BitConnect.
Yeah. No comment. But this is a great place to kind of go get a good summary as far as what is out there and kind of our dividends actually being paid, as opposed to sorting through all the data.
What does stake percent mean? I see 95%.
The stake percent is the total availability, and then what they've actually said that they're going to stake. So
what is staked? Right?
Well, what is staked?
Right. So of all the circulating supply, so Poker King is really high because it's super easy on the DApp. Just click to stake after you play. You just go click stake the ones that you have. Why not? Because you get paid a little extra. So I think 95% of the circulating supply is staked.
No,
maybe not.
Yeah, it's how much is actually Yeah, how much of it is staked, but according to what is actually also allowed to be staked. So, which is a company set.
And what do they do with that, with the staked coins? If you have to buy in, they already have supply, then why do you give them more supply?
Because you make money off of that. So they say, I'm going to pay a dividend based upon this. If you stake your coins. So think about it as a bank. Yeah, it's a piggy bank. You know, I'm going to take coins that I'm not doing anything with, you buy 3 eggs of perfect stake, and then I'm going to earn dividends based upon it.
But what do they do with the stake? Because like banks take it, they give loans out to people.
That's what I'm thinking. Do they give you margin? They give you a margin account?
You know, I'm not there, so I don't. Maybe
reduce liquidity.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah. I
to keep token price. But overall, sorry.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah. So overall, the kind of the play game as mining style has been kind of has passed its primes, because this whole idea comes from last June of the F coin exchange. You trade and you can just trade as mining. So all the games took this idea, but as more and more people are familiar with this whole token economics, it's actually not a sustainable model, because we can see the price of the DApps token. They actually increased like 10 times or 15 times during its peak times, but it has plummeted since. So it's not a sustainable model as when people are realizing that. The token price of those tokens can only be sustainable as new players are coming to the game. If not, no new players coming, it's going to be plummeted. So.
Correct. Yeah.
So get in now while you can.
Yeah. So just be cautious, and it's being overplayed by these token models. So it's actually not sustainable.
You mean these dividends?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, so I would suggest, so people have been discussing this a lot on the Poker Kings Telegram because it's fun to play as well, and so I think people have kind of run the numbers as far as like what the growth has to be and the volume as far as action, right? So, so I think there's different ways that this can play out. I think it's different than someone sitting down and playing like slots, for an hour to test out an app and then never coming back again. Versus, I mean, I'm a happy return customer as far as Poker King goes, and growth of the system.
And I was going to say, I don't necessarily. I think you hit a good point. This is an experiment. So there is no, it might fail, it might not fail. Like there's no, it might honestly exponentially grow as far as users. And so from that perspective, then it can sustain some of the growth. And so, it's really trying a new economic model. But, there are people right now that are, buying dividends and then selling on a secondary market, and so
it'll be interesting to see, at least, I mean, with the poker especially, like what the next poker dApps like decide to do tokenomics wise, because they are kind of just experimenting with stuff that's been out for a while or new ideas. There's tons of criticism of the way that they've set this up from the people playing it. There's some people who come on every day and are like, why are you guys doing this, or you need to do this with your dividends, and you need to promote, blah blah blah. And so clearly there's a lot of opinions, but it'll be curious to see how.
But is this a current, very common paradigm? Like you have tokens that are built on EOS, and they pay out dividends of some sort.
Yeah. This is the EOS kind of.
Because for DApp developers, the best thing about this app is actually they can actually attract users. Because the early players can actually make a lot of money by the hiking in the price.
Sure.
It's actually a bit toxic in the long term.
Pyramid-esque.
And it also
it is a pyramid scheme, so be careful, guys, and warn
Right. You're like, hey, buddy, I heard this is great.
You're an owner,
their incentives are in the right place. They want Poker Team wants to be the best poker team by attracting players.
Yeah.
They don't want to be, they're not going to sit on their laurels and not per game or anything like that. Because there's a benefit to them.
A lot of the casino kind of EOS apps also give a referral credit. So if you bring like 5 or 10 people onto the platform, you get a percentage of their rates or, you know, the profits made off them.
How do they know who's a person and who's like a symbol?
That's a good question. What was that, sorry?
Like how do they know who's a person? Like if I have a referral versus like another account.
That's a good point. I assume they're using similar referral systems to like centralize that.
It's probably very similar to the fantasy football, you know. And then, you know, I don't know what degree do they validate. We could ask in the chat room. I mean, I think that's what's happening, honestly, is there's a certain level of trust that is not gained, and then people go into the chat room and kind of press it.
Sorry. So I'm still confused on why this dividend model is flawed. Like, because it seems like EOS as an entire blockchain is centered around games and like gambling specifically. And games aren't going anywhere. Like they'll get old and they'll die out, but new games come and take their place. And so as long as like EOS maintains that, its token is like the national liquidity for every single game that's already built on top of it. So as long as the chain's getting more users, the game can still lose users and still have some inherent value with the dividends paid out for each game. So I mean, I don't know if that's...
So for each game have their own token?
Yeah. So it's a way to like monetize for the time being, just like any other game right now. But there'll be a time when either they have some crazy update to like help their retention rate or something, or expand their user growth. But otherwise, you know, they just die, they make a good check, and then another game comes up.
You're right in that if the rates are increasing at a higher rate, then the inflation, which comes from gameplay and receiving more tokens. But if those rates are increasing at a higher rate, you're actually going to be better off. But if they're not increasing at the same rate, so it's just like, did they get the model right in that they're not giving away too many? They're not inflating the token supply too quickly versus how much is being made by the casino. So yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't actually been tracking whether the dividends have been going up faster than...
So we all talk about that about Poker Kings every day, and I think someone had calculated at the beginning, like, in order to sustain the same dividend payout that you're getting like every day based on what you have already, it has to, like, the volume of betting on the DApp has to grow by 3% daily. And so I think when Bo was cautioning, and when you're cautioning about the, is there a pyramid scheme-esque thing, I think it's based on like assumptions. So if you buy a bunch of King tokens, you're like, I'm gonna get 0.8% return daily, right? Which means in 80 days or in whatever, so many days, I'll have my return on investment back, right? Like past 100 days. That's the fallacy, right? Like, because if the user growth stops or slows down, then that percentage is going to go down every day, and it's going to take longer for you to reach your return of investment. Does that make sense? So it depends on where on that S curve of adoption, if there is an S curve, you get on board. If you get on like right where it's super scaling, then you're going to be super expecting these awesome rewards, and you're going to watch the daily rewards.
And at some point, the supply meets its end, right? But it's not inflating forever, right? There's a max supply. Once you reach that, I wonder how will it compete against another poker game who is still ongoing with this model.
Yeah, I don't think you can, right?
Yeah, because you have less incentives versus the competing casinos.
Because like the switching cost for something, an application like this is 0, right? So, I mean, like there'll be like a transition period when new players are like, oh, there's like a new thing that we should all move over to.
Right.
But
and I think that's a valid concern with a lot of us that are kind of big into the poker things right now. Is like because I think a lot of these other casinos are going to come out with a PvP version of poker, and if they get a better tokenomics model or do something more appealing, it just kind of everybody hop ship and users die. The one thing I didn't get into here, but you were asking questions, so it's worthwhile, is the way that they built their mining scheme is like the first, X amount of King tokens in circulation. It's a higher payout too, as far as what you get back for King awards. So, like the first, I don't know, initially it was like 1 to 200. Every time you bet 1 EOS, you get 200 King tokens, and then after some time, it changed to 1 to 100, and it's been going down, and now it's like 1 to 60. So it's slowed down a lot.
The bid and ask, you mean, when you exchange?
No, that's the amount you get for playing, like the King tokens that you're earning for mining or playing, just for sitting out and playing.
Okay.
The people that were playing like the first week of the app were getting a lot more King token than people are playing now.
Interesting. Yeah, because the other thing I want to caution everyone about is the bid and ask. So if you do buy kings and then you go back to convert them, the bids are going to be probably 10% less than what you bought them for. So if all of you guys are familiar with trading, right, there's a bid and ask, right? You buy at the ask, you sell at the bid. So when you go to sell your kings to EOS on the DEX or any other decentralized exchange, you're going to get like 10% or 20% less than the value, than what you think. So if you think you have $1,000 in EOS, right, when you actually convert from your king or your other coin to your EOS, you're going to lose like 10% because the bid and the ask are just huge, or the spreads are really wide in the exchange. So.
And that's accurate. I've seen that some days on Poker King. It's a really big.
Yeah, because all these markets are really small. Right now, so there's not a lot of market makers to.
That's right. So be careful with that.
Hey, Brandon, are you going to do
I have a question
PixEOS?
about the staking. So when you
No, I don't have it on my
wanna
phone.
play on Poker King, as a user, if I join, then do I need to stake tokens to be able
to do the transaction? But it's like not King, but you need to stake EOS. If you're using any EOS application and doing transactions on the blockchain, you have to have a little bit staked.
And can someone stake on my behalf?
Right.
Yes. In theory, like going into the future, we should hopefully see that the apps themselves are staking for the users, because you don't want that UX hurdle of people having to own EOS just to play a game. That's ridiculous. Although, like, since you need to pay with EOS, you're going to have something with that same thing.
But I mean, for like other applications, like most of the current internet is built around someone else paying for my usage of the service, right?
Yeah.
Like Facebook pays for the computing for all the users on its website, right? So
that's how it should be.
Yeah, like we need that.
I think we're heading towards that sort of model. It's just like maybe it's too expensive to stake for everyone currently, but as we continue to scale, you know, you might even have like staking pools for the casino itself, and you get a payout of king tokens for being a CPU supplier kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there's one that is experimenting with this model already. So
yeah, which came up with Create Bridge, and that is basically like you can stake on behalf of, like it's basically allowing you to create pools, and then you can, as a DApp developer, you can stake on behalf of your users. Users have like seamless experience, and they don't have to care about this extra transaction.
But these users, they don't have to be on a particular blockchain or anything like that?
I think it depends on what blockchain that contract is deployed to. So it's called Create Bridge. And yeah, so it depends on what chain there are. It's not costing. So.
Many apps are using this technology called ORID, which allows you to log in with Facebook or Google or any OAuth provider. And in that situation, when they do integrate ORID, I believe all the staking happens on behalf of the users. It also takes out the hurdle of having to purchase the EOS account and yet do any staking.
It's called ORA?
ORID, like O-R-E, and ID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spell it again, sorry.
Outside of my car.
Oh, really?
Can you spell it again?
Nice play.
That's
You sound like, that's awesome! Great idea!
Infinity Block is a block producer on on-chain.
Yeah.
Also on Talos, probably.
Another thing I was going to mention, that most of these wallets are trying to get you to use them because they automatically pass referral links to a lot of these dApps. So, full disclosure, you're getting a free Meet One code, but they're making money off you. And same with like the Lynx wallet, which is very, very nice wallet, very streamlined. I think it costs 99 cents for an EOS account owner, which is like way below what it would actually cost if you did it yourself. I think it might cost like $3. But they're subsidizing that experience because they profit off it. So keep that in mind as well.
I'm sorry, can you explain how that works?
Yeah. So in the dApp you're using, there's a URL. In the URL, it's like it will have their referral link. So you don't actually see the URL. You're interacting with a gambling dApp, but they're getting referrals for that.
Okay.
So yeah, kickbacks. But that's how you get such a great user experience. So
do you know how are they getting paid a piece of the transactions, or
it's different for each gambling dApp. So they've just signed up for most of the ones that they're hosting. So like on the Lynx wallet, there's very few of them.
Right.
There's like EOS Bet, I think is one of them. So they're making money on EOS Bet every time you use it in their wallet.
So is it like a set fee, like a fiat fee, do you think?
I don't think so. I think they're actually getting percentages. I could be mistaken.
Percentage. Yeah. Percentage. Yeah.
It's probably individual. Per transaction that you make. So
right.
Yeah. They're bringing users, right?
Right, exactly.
That's the right way to go, right? Rather than launching a token and right?
Yes.
Because that's at least making a business model. Maybe not big enough, but at least sustainable for the wallet to keep growing.
So right now, if you want to create a dApp, you want to set up a contract with each of these wallets, right? To kind of get their users to
They set up a referral. So most of these gambling sites, we didn't mention this, but most of them have a referral mechanism built into it. So in the same tab, which there's a staking mechanism where you can stake those tokens, there's definitely another tab that's like referral link. I think there's even a site that can populate your referral links for all the sites too. I can't remember what it is. There's so much stuff on this.
It's a mad grab for users.
It is.
And similar with the playing game as mining, so the referral profitability has shrunk a lot since November. Now from November, for these top wallets, their monthly income can be like about 100,000 EOS per month. But due to the shrinking in all these transactions, the volume EOS, this one has been shrinking. So it's still a sizable business, but they're expanding their business life. They're building some social features, and they're trying to profit from the traffic other than just from this. But from the early days, especially November, that's really sweet for those top wallets.
Another thing to keep in mind that I kind of learned in real time was so there's some websites like DApp Radar that kind of give you like daily volumes, like daily active users and like the volume transacted in that game. But that old age adage of like what can happen in the crypto space happens, right? Like clearly, I think a lot of these sites are gaming the numbers in whatever way they can. So like, I don't understand, right? So
and there's been a lot of talk is that there's a lot of bots that honestly are, because you think, oh, a lot of people are playing and there's good odds, when in actuality there's bots that are.
Right, yeah. So with Poker Kings, it's pretty easy to kind of, because there's no bots, right? Or I mean, theoretically, you're playing against people, and you can see who's popping on, and you recognize names, and so it's kind of, you get a feel if you're playing enough of like, is this increasing by the amount that DApp Radar is saying every day? I'd be seeing way more names than there's not, but you can see that it's growing, but there's a real visible, tangible feel for organic growth, and you can see that when you're playing and you're sitting out playing. Definitely not reflected on. I think Poker Kings says on DApp Radar that they have 3.3, like almost 4,000 daily active users, man. There's no way that that's the case. But I see it growing every day. It's just interesting. And then if you go look at the contract and you're like, okay, what's going on here? You can see all these accounts that log in, like sit down for 10 EOS, and then cash out for 10 EOS. They're like 0 transactions, right? And then you're like, okay, these are just like, they're just bots or people that are just gonna daily cookie.
In theory, someone could run bots on this.
Yeah, they could. I mean, that's probably what these are like
bot accounts.
They're actually mining bots for all the major dApps. There are. There's a business of selling bots. Go ahead.
Right. They make money just by being there.
Correct. Well, because they make money by playing. They mine and then they stake. And then what are these? I don't know. Kings on a third-party place to sell it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's.
So I'm getting into more details, but this is fun. So at the beginning of Poker Kings, when you were getting 200 king per one EOS that you were betting, you're getting a ton of king when you were betting. And I think people ran the numbers. We were kind of all watching this happen at the time. I think people ran the numbers and realized that if they put enough of an investment into the dApp, like if they, and it was like thousands and thousands of EOS. I think we did the numbers, and because at some point they have these VIP levels, and if you get to this highest VIP level, then your rate gets smaller. So instead of 1.5%, it goes like 1.4, 1.3. And people crunch the numbers, realize that if I invest 50,000 EOS into this and keep betting myself, get to the highest VIP level, then I can essentially mine to make a profit. So they were mining. So you're losing money off the rate, but you're making enough by turning around and selling the king token on the market for the prices that they were making money. And that worked for like the first few periods. And now that the rate of king mining is like 1 to 60 or 1 to 70, the volume's kind of all of a sudden dropping. It's not profitable to do that anymore.
Be cautious about king token price.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to find it because it was interesting. If you look at the volume of trading, I'll have to find it, but it was, I think that it came out, what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago? And then there was immense volume, and the volume has, you could sell it was somewhat of a pump and dump and get the volume to sell it immediately, and now it's kind of gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing, I was talking about with a lot of people in the chat too, is like, so, we all kind of guessed that maybe it was a dev that kind of did this, that knew the system, because who else is going to put that much money up front on something that could disappear like in a few days, right? I thought the dev that was pretty certain that the game was going to last long enough for him to kind of get back his investment, right?
So I'm gonna, I found the, so here's Poker King in the volume. So the volume is down here.
This is a trading volume?
Yeah. So let me try to go to 90 days. So if you look at the trading volume, when people were earning a lot of kings, they're just turning around and selling it. And then as it kept going down and down, the volume of trading is, so, which basically means people are playing. People are playing with it and not just getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Which is honestly what they want, for stable growth.
Yeah, no, people were angry about these people that were clearly doing that and taking snapshots of the screen and being like, telling the devs, look, these guys are just mining, they're not really playing, they're just, just lots of fights.
Just like folding,
yeah, like 1,000 EOS back and forth, right? Like just boom, 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 and then just earning
Good idea. I feel like I've got some tips out of this session.
Well, who's the losing end?
Normal players.
It's normal players in the sense that their dividend is going down because these guys are earning way more and like a huge chunk of what's being created every day. So your daily payout, maybe when you first signed up was like 1 EOS a day, and now it's less than that because it's getting super diluted by false dilution instead of real playing. And then it's people that who are like looking at this and they're like, oh gosh, there's so much volume, I'm going to go buy some king tokens instead of just playing for king tokens and sit on it because there's so much volume that this will be worth something more later. And then realize that, okay, wait, that was fake growth, and now maybe there's going to be organic growth.
So what was that daily dividend percentage? Wasn't it like 0.27%?
It's 20.
For Poker Kings, it was like 0.8. It was 1% for a the highest. It's still one of the highest.
That's a good return.
It's a huge return.
That's per day. It's not annualized or.
Yeah, but it's.
The stock market is 6% a year.
Yeah.
For the crazy days in November, it's like 8% per day.
No way, for like dice and stuff, or
for the EOS Vegas.
The top one?
Yeah.
8% per day.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like 50% per week.
Return of investment in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's sustainable. Very sustainable.
Wow.
Could join the gambling.
Man.
Maybe that's just how much casinos make.
It's
gambling, not gambling. Like, it's profitable. Like,
I'm gonna change my daytime job. Where is this? Be one of the first ones when they launch.
Yeah.
So how much is EOS betting like a day? Does anyone know what their profitability is?
We don't really know because there's a lot of watch trading.
Oh, really?
Some numbers not correct.
Okay.
Hey, what is EOS transactions per second now? Do we know?
Peak could be 4,000, 5,000, but the actual use is much less.
It's probably like, I think real-time usage, like if you look at averages, it's probably like 50, 60 per second is what's actually happening, but it has, like Will said, the peak I think is like just short of 4,000.
Well, what can it handle?
People have tested 15,000, 20,000 a second.
Really?
I know maybe it depends on what kind.
But it definitely depends on what
how
kind.
much
So numbers are all context, right? I think when we hit about 4,000, you know, I think there was like a Twitter type DApp that was like spamming the number. So I think it depends on the type of transaction.
So there's no like measurement of like a normalized transaction.
No, and there's transactions that have like nested actions, so it's hard to know. Like it's hard to really quantify.
But that's still much faster than Ethereum.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's true. It's Ethereum 17 a second.
Yeah.
So that's also saying that they're faster than the turtle.
15, yeah.
There's a tool called EOS Charge.io, and if I find really helpful, it basically tells you how much the net and balance of the use for each action. So just like that, the cost.
What is the website?
It's called EOS Charge.
EOS Charge.
Yeah, New York. I think it's EOS New York.
Yeah, but in terms of all this CPU, RAM and stuff, it is actually our bottleneck for the mass adoption. So the goal is actually getting rid of this as soon as we can.
Sorry, can you clarify?
I mean, yeah, the whole idea of the CPU, RAM, and NAS resource and stuff is actually really hard to understand for normal people.
Right.
Even if you're going to see a major, it's actually hard to.
Right. Like I don't know, like when I write something, like how much CPU.
Yeah. So the goal, the plan will be just to mask all this and trying to offer a native internet experience to users instead of you have to learn CPU, RAM, NAS, or staking. It's actually not. It's not easy to understand at all.
Is it EOS Scan?
Currently, do you stake those separately?
Yes, you have to stake CPU, stake NAT, buy RAM, which is the price is decided by a complicated backcore algorithm, so it's fairly complicated. So lots of teams are trying to masking this off. So,
yeah,
that's a good direction to go for mass adoption.
Yeah, RAM is the tricky one. That's kind of the most, I guess, like limited resource to some degree. CPU has had a lot of issues using it, but that's why it costs a little bit of money to get an EOS account, is because you're actually paying for just a tiny bit of RAM.
Actually, the CPU issue is directly created by the client. Yes. Yeah, the CPU issues created by
lining of these games.
Just by that.
Yeah.
Just by the client.
Yeah. So every day they do that payout, and that's like thousands of transactions that happen and stuff.
The solution we had is on November. That's why the most highly trafficked games are most popular.
Yeah, and I think some people were seeing like peaks in the CPU usage, and people figured out that they corresponded to like the time of day where like some of these dApps were doing their daily payouts.
Yep.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, there was points where you couldn't even send just a normal transaction. Like, you want to send funds to someone, and like, this is broken.
This is
just like
20 EOS for one transaction and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. So, but now I think they fixed it in the last few months. Like, I haven't had any CPU problems and staked.
The main reason is actually not fixed. But there are minor performance improvements, but the main reason is actually there are much less game mining these days because people have synced through the pyramid scheme already. So that's
So can you explain the producer concept as far as like why does it go? Like, are there only so many producers that can be on? Because I see here like it just cuts out. Or does everybody?
Producers. Oh, as far as yeah. Oh, that's so.
Producers and then
yeah.
someone else makes.
As far yeah. So the way that so EOS, the basic for those people that aren't that familiar with EOS is that it uses a delegated proof of stake model. So think of like a network that has mining, but like Bitcoin or Ethereum, but instead of everyone being able to throw up a node and mine, you have to be kind of voted or selected to be a miner on that network, and that's what block producers are on the EOS network. So anyone with EOS tokens can vote for, even if you just have one or less than one, you can vote for block producers that you like, and then the groups with the highest amount of votes are actually the top 21 are the ones that are producing blocks for the network, and so they get paid to be doing that, but we also pay, the network also pays standby block producers because we theoretically want a system in DPoS where if there's a bad actor in the top 21, then they can be voted out and good actors are voted in. And so you want to incentivize people to be backups or standbys. And so the way that the system works currently is if you have greater than 0.5% of the vote, the overall vote, then you get a little bit of some EOS daily rewards. And so I think the payout goes right now.
So that's the standby level.
Yeah, I'll put down to the standby level. So I think right now, if you go down to like who's got 0.5% of the vote, it takes you to like the mid 80s. So everyone that's a block producer through the low 80s is getting a little bit of rewards, and then it gets higher too.
So how did people get to be the top 21?
Those from the highest group in this room right now, so you can.
Which one are you?
Yeah, they're like campaigns, like political campaigns.
It's definitely political popularity, beauty. There's all these things that happen in the real world that they happen in the US
people to vote for you, or like.
So I mean when EOS was kind of like touted.
Which one are you?
We're ranked 50, I think. EOS Silicon Valley. 51.
It's changing every 3 seconds or 6 seconds.
I think the idea the chain was launched with was that people are not allowed to buy votes because they had seen other forms or other chains with DPoS that kind of degraded into like vote buying schemes or cartels. Yeah. But there's nothing that kind of like was, that's a hard thing to define. Like, is vote buying happening, especially when it happens behind closed doors? And so I think there's
not in the Constitution.
It's not in the Constitution. Yeah.
Just to let you know, you're now
it's not enforceable. It's not. Yeah, it's in the Constitution. There's a lot of things that kind of were in this Constitution that we launched with that people are debating with, and so there's all kinds of issues about. Do we want to keep that Constitution to begin with? And there was no enforceability of stuff that was in the Constitution.
So explain how you just bumped 10 up to now he's sitting at 41.
It's a bug. It is a bug of the website.
Someone in this room
He just got
voted
so good
about 20
Live stream's hot. Yeah.
But that might happen. It might happen, but it's actually bug.
We actually had a live stream question. It was regarding the CPU and RAM that we were talking about. They were asking if dApps should also, on top of airdrops, do ICOs in order for dApps to pay for their own RAM. What do you guys think about that? Anyone have anything on that? Has anyone seen EOS ICOs?
The regulatory environment is probably pretty tough right now, but there's still, I think some companies doing this ICO type.
I don't think it's U.S. I mean, I'll say I haven't seen U.S. investors if any ICOs. I've seen they're all overseas or most of them.
There's still a few in Asia, Korea for sure. Still
you guys think that's a legit concept to like to airdrop tokens and then do an ICO on top of that to pay for your DApp fees or your CPU?
Yes, you could, like, as long as you register in Malta or something, incorporate.
I mean, not, aside from legality, I'm wondering with like the tokenomics or something like that.
Maybe there should be an SCO, like a stake CO, like where if you stake to that provider or that app, you get tokens every single day for every day you're staking your CPU. Because then it's like more of a partnership and it's not really considered an ICO, it's not raising funds. It's you're actually becoming part of the app as a partner by providing infrastructure resources. It could like sidestep the law a bit.
So that's almost like when they airdrop and then you stake your tokens and you get a payout like once a week.
Exactly, it's much like that, yeah. That's a good question.
I mean, I guess if they're going to have some kind of value underwrite for the token, they're going to have to do an ICO or they're going to have to do like an equity round or something. And then provide some fund so that when people do get the token, it's not just like a Chuck E. Cheese token or something. So like ICO seems like the most effective way to do that. Especially if they're getting an airdrop or something, like being a part of your community in some way, more than just like a Telegram group or something, but it's like they're downloading your DApp or it's increasing your user base or whatever.
A lot of apps, what they do is they do an airdrop to the community and then that creates a market where there's an exchange.
Yeah.
And so you airdrop 10% of your tokens. And then once you have a market on decentralized and centralized exchanges, then you can begin selling the 80 or 90% that you did keep to pay for costs. And, you know,
yeah, even then though you still have to have like liquidity, so you have to like do your own market making or get like some service like person to like, yeah.
But that also depends on that you can actually get on a market, you know, that people trust to trade.
Yeah, well that's why I like Stellar or whatever. It's because like they have a native DEX built into them. I'm not sure if EOS does the same thing, but like if they do, like that's a pretty good benefit. Especially if you're gonna provide liquidity for your own token initially.
It's Stellar X doesn't start every coin.
It is. You just have to like contact them. But technically, every coin that's like listed on the mainnet is on the Stellar network. But it's like the apparent on Stellar X.
There is this algorithm called Bancor, and it's used for the RAM, like buying and selling RAM, but can also be used for creating liquidity for your token. So basically, I think there's like tokens held in a smart contract, and the Bancor algorithm is able to always make sure there's liquidity, there's always a seller, there's always a buyer, and it will adjust the price as there is more purchases or more sales, it will adjust it up or down. So you actually have like permanent and always on liquidity.
Oh wow.
But I do like the idea of a single order book for EOS. So then that'll increase, like that's basically what Stellar is, it's an order book in a blockchain. And that means that all the exchanges are sharing the liquidity as opposed to NewDex has their exchange here, Dex EOS has theirs, and like they're separate order books and the liquidity isn't there. It's just spread out too thinly.
There's going to be arbitrage anyway, so it's like might as well just like get them all together.
Definitely.
So we'll have one last quick demo and then we'll wrap up since it's getting late. But so Brandon will go into.
I'm going to show PixEOS. This is one of my favorites that I've actually been using, and I have a different wallet, so I'm not going to cast it. I'm just going to show you the site real quick here.
What do you want? Yeah, does anyone have beers while we're anyone?
Get you this beer in about 5 minutes. So PixEOS, when you have your wallet integrated, you sort of play now, and it brings up PixEOS Paint. This is basically, if anyone's familiar with Pixelmaster, this is like Pixelmaster that operates on EOS. And if you zoom in here, you see that this goes all the way down to 1 pixel, and you buy each of these pixels. And then there's paint features, and you paint pictures. kind of do whatever you want.
Reddit plays.
Yeah, kind of get crazy. So the middle of the, so the concept is you purchase a pixel, and then if someone else wants to paint over that pixel, they pay 33% more than you paid initially. So if you paid, let's say, this is more than it is, but $1 EOS for a pixel, then you're painted it a certain color for your picture. Someone else would come in and pay $1.33 to paint over your pixel. So what happens is kind of the middle of the board becomes really hot here. And this is where a lot of the action goes on, and people come in and paint over. And so these squares end up being a lot more expensive over time. And so that is the pixel game. And if has anyone in here played it or messed with it? Max has. What do you have to input about it? Max, what's your favorite part about it?
I mean, I was such a huge fan about Pixelmaster. I feel like it's a really good spin-off from that. They have a really long-term vision too, so they have their own token, and they're going to be involved with these this NFT non-fungible token group called Decodes. So it looks like they're going to be going beyond this app, these ideas. Yeah, it's an awesome app. I'll definitely check it out.
They just partnered with someone else too, I think, to like print like T-shirts and like you can do stuff with the art that's made on PixEOS, which is kind of interesting.
There was some kind of ripple, I remember, on this canvas, like near the down there, near Monrosa, right? That's like 250 EOS and like private key. Yeah, here it was like to the left. Yeah. Like
oh yeah.
EOS private key and some.
Yeah, you're right. There was like a cipher contest. Someone put some like code up there.
Oh, that was
yeah, I think it was on this one. It was next to the Murmur, and someone solved it like a day later.
Oh, someone solved it? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it was 200 EOS.
Yeah. So what's the revenue model? So if I buy a pixel, if somebody paints over my pixel, do I get a portion of that revenue?
Yeah, your return. So if you trade EOS for pixels, I think they're called. I'm not sure what the token's called. But yeah, then you receive 33% more if someone paints over your stuff. Your stuff just stays there, then you pay to be as a part of the wall. And eventually, I'm not sure how the timeline works, but eventually this slows down, and then they take a snapshot of it and they start a new canvas. And with the non-fungible tokens, what that means is when they start a new canvas, this will actually be a work of art that is a one of a kind. And then it'll have a value, and it can be either sold, traded, or purchased, or however that ends up working. But this canvas will be its own non-fungible token down the road. That's kind of the vision. So they'll have kind of a gallery of these, as they slow down. What's been recorded.
So if you the last purchaser of Pixel, does that mean you get caught holding the bag? Like,
yep.
It's like a ticking time bomb.
It's like, you get caught holding the bag, but the incentive is there that you maybe want to get caught holding the bag. Maybe you actually want your picture on, like maybe we really want EOS San Francisco stuck on the very first Pixel or whatever. So you want to be there. So yeah, you get caught holding the bag or you win.
Yeah, depending on which one you want.
Right, that's why it seemed like the incentives for this were kind of odd. Like, you created an awesome image like that Marilyn Monroe, and then, like, you're not rewarded, right? Except you're making something, like, the cooler the thing is that you make, like, the less rewarded you might be.
Yeah, I mean, someone put a gold plus sign on Marilyn Monroe's head. They're probably hoping that person comes in and paints those back gray or something. Some people put offensive things.
The nice art, people are going to defense it, so you make more money.
Yeah, making them really good painted over,
So when they basically snapshot the canvas and it becomes like a digital collectible,
correct.
Does everybody who has a pixel on that get a portion of that when someone buys that collectible?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, and a lot of this is figuring it out as they go.
Yeah, it's evolving.
Yeah,
I remember at the beginning they were having issues with
I never messed with it, but I was listening to kind of how it ends and when it ends, right? Because it starts to slow down, and then like they were trying to figure out the best way to kind of close out a piece of work. Is it when it slows down to a certain crawl, and then you say, okay, now if nothing happens for 24 hours, or under this volume for 24 hours, then we close it off. Kind of thing.
Like a time-based.
Right, exactly. So they might have figured that out.
Yeah, we used to have, we're in the middle right here, we used to, this thing used to be a San Francisco logo, but SKSY gave us the paint over. I'm not sure who that is, but.
Now you got some EOS in your pockets.
Yeah, but now, yeah.
So
yeah, I went right for the center though, I could have gone. And we also had over here by EOS Detroit, that one's been kind of a hot spot here, EOS Detroit. We had, and EOS San Francisco under it. But WhaleX painted over us.
I think on some of them there's a way to do like a heat map too, right? You kind of click it, and it turns, and it shows you. Like,
so it's like buying real estate.
Yeah,
I'm surprised this isn't more juvenile. Like people haven't, you know.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Dated.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where are the cutest
It's
pictures?
expensive. I know. I'm like, this is.
Surprise for the balls.
But trolls are willing to pay money, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised this is so PG.
Huh?
This is very PG.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
We're a sophisticated community. What do you expect?
You should show them Pixelmaster.
You're laughing too hard there.
Just go to the site.
Yeah, because it's still up. So Pixelmaster was up for a whole month, and I think it was over $700,000 in EOS were spent on that site. But EOS was much higher; it was like over $5. But it's an incredible project. It's phenomenal, and there's like the crudest stuff on the planet on that site. Yeah,
I thought you were going to say 700,000 penises or something.
Oh, there's a lot of those too. So they had to change the rules throughout it because I think the rule was like, we're only going to stop this when there's like no pixels drawn for 24 hours. So they had to change the rules, and then it ended pretty quickly. I can't remember what they changed the rules to, and I really hope it loads just so you can see.
Pixelmaster?
Yeah, Pixelmaster.
Is it not working now, or?
Pixelmaster.io.
It's not a game anymore. It's just one static image now. But if you have a chance to check out the image, it's pretty phenomenal.
So Brandon, why did WhaleX paint over SF as opposed to just painting in blank squares? Is there any incentivization?
I don't know. The other thing that happened is they painted over EOS.io Detroit and made it Boss.io Detroit, which is the EOS sister chain.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if WhaleX is affiliated or not, but it's like both of them got tagged over at the same time. So you can make your own conspiracy theories.
Maybe either for fun or expecting you pay to pay it back.
Yeah, so they get 30% on a high.
So actually, the most expensive pixel on Pixelmaster, I think it's more than 1,000 EOS.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. So during that time, that's like more than $20,000 per one pixel back there. More than $20,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not great.
That's crazy. Yeah. People would be crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, mine's not coming up, but if anyone else is coming, yeah. Did we have anything else?
So that was a unique game.
Yeah.
Do you want to see Pixel? I have a picture of one.
You can throw it up and we'll wrap up at the same time. We got June and me are from EOS San Francisco. We got Blocksmith, Shaheen, and Infinity Block, Justin. Is there any other block? Oh, and EOS SV. We didn't have to mention him because he's so high on the rankings.
Oh, there it is. Check it out.
Silicon Valley.
Oh, wow. Blanket.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. I didn't know
Here
it was
we
so
go.
cool.
All that nice.
Oh,
whoa. What
okay. Yeah, that's kind of more what I was expecting.
Yeah, they did. I wonder how much that like yin and yang in the middle of that room costs. It's a lot of pixels.
Wow, it's just like a battlefield of corpses in the middle.
Yeah. It's a bit like a family quilt, only unfamily friendly.
China. There's.
Man,
racist family.
this is fun.
fatdope.com. That's
So if you like these kinds of dApps, we actually, all of a number of us, you know, the EOS SF, Blocksmith, Block, and others, Silicon Valley, we're doing an expo where, you know, these dApps are going to demo their products. It's April 13th in San Francisco. We'll put it up on the meetup group. So April 13th on a Saturday, and maybe Sunday too. It'd be one of these where you can just check out all the cool things going on in EOS. Also, before I forget, this is Starfish Mission. It's a co-working space. If you have events, if you want a co-working space with a lot of blockchain companies around here, you can kind of, it's a great place for that. And if you have events as well, or sponsorships as well. They're always looking for sponsors. So. And that's about it. So we try to do this monthly. Really appreciate it. You can stay here and ask any of us questions afterwards about EOS and any of the dApps that are here, that was demoed. Thanks everyone for demoing. And yeah.
Feel free to join the Telegram channel. It's a good way to kind of keep in touch with any of us block producers, ask questions. We're dorks, we're EOS dorks. So we'll try to answer stuff or get you to someone who has needs.
So are you, must get asked all the time because everyone wants to get on. Yeah.
All the people that wrote it.